Hi everybody, this is Felicia. And the layout that I am doing right now is inspired by the folks there on the photo. That was at a superhero birthday party, and those who were invited were supposed to wear superhero t-shirts. And I am adding that photo right now on white American Crafts cardstock, and the gray cardstock is also American Crafts. The piece of paper that you see me right there, the script there, that is from a Studio Calico card kit from earlier this year. And my goal with this layout is to make it look more like a superhero comic book. So with that said, there's going to be lots of pops of color on here, a lot of things going every which way and direction a little bit there without getting too much out of control, and your speech bubbles. So the speech bubbles are going to be layered. They're going to have some color underneath them because I just didn't want them just floating there. And each one of those speech bubbles is going to have some words on there. So the layout itself is supposed to be more like a comic book setting, and that's what I'm aiming for. And all of the stuff that you see me layering with, including the speech bubbles there, they came from my stash. They do not go with the Sugar Rush kit. The only thing from the Sugar Rush kit that I'm using right now are the two cardstocks, the gray and the white. And the only thing that's not from my stash, only bubble that is, up there, it says Say Cheese. That is from the October Afternoon Tidbits. The red flag arrow that says this is, and the red arrow at the bottom next to the circle, red circle that says enjoy, those are from a Hottie Swap Project Life kit. And I'm going to be using those because they have the pop of color that I need to have in this layout. And so now what I'm doing is I'm cutting a strip from the Bella Boulevard paper, and the strip I want to use on this layout have the stars on them. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use the stars or not. I just decided that I wasn't going to use the whole strip. And so later you'll see me cut it up and do something else with it, but I'm definitely going to use it, but not just like in a strip form. I think it was a little too much for me, the stars was. It kind of took away from the comic book because of the colors that was in there. And so that is a clear tag, and I'm going to be cutting that up because I just want the words "you rule" and that red stripe strip there. And I'm going to be putting it right there because that breaks up, right? That's perfect because it breaks up the color right there. And I'm cutting out the "you rule," and I'm going to be rounding the corner of that as well here in a minute. Just trying to make sure I'm trying to stuff as many layers as I can under here. Um, a lot of that stuff, like I said, is from my stash. So there I go. I am using the strip of stars there for my banner there up the top. And I'm going to layer that too as well. I think I wasn't going to use that. I think that's probably why I pulled that up. And I'm going to put a little bit of that stars at the base here. So rounding that as well. And there you go. And there I go. I do round that. Wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not. So now I'm looking at it and I am thinking, okay, so this looks good. And then I get my mini alphas there. And a lot of those mini alphas are from Project Life kits from earlier this year and last year. And they're a combination of the Studio Calico and the Basic Gray. And some of them are in different fonts as well. I'm going to be putting little sayings on each one of those speech bubbles coming from a few of those guys there on the photo. And while I am doing that, I am going to be featuring my stepdad here, who does scrapbooking as well. So, and his name is Ernest, and so you'll be seeing his technique. He has his own technique, and we've been all scrapbooking and for quite a few years now. My mom does card making, and my oldest daughter, she does scrapbooking as well. So show Ernest some love, everybody. This will be his first video that's going to be featured on my channel. And we don't get to see men doing any scrapbooking these days, but um, I know there might be some closet guys out there. Who knows? But I'm happy to have him featured here on my channel on his first video. And depending on how he feels about it, he might do maybe another video. Hopefully he does. So each one of these speech bubbles are going to have a little saying on them. And I'm trying not to put too many words on because I don't want it to take away from the photo. And I'm using a combination of gray and black alphas there on some of the speech bubbles. And then I think on that one, because it's a yellow background, I use red. Yes, I do use red. I don't know how many comic books I've read in my lifetime, but I've read quite a few. I am a comic book reader. Well, I was a comic book reader when I was a young child and a teenager. As a matter of fact, it's kind of crazy, but comic books they really teach a kid how to read. They really do. I read mostly Archie and Betty and Veronica and Jughead comic books, though, back when I was little. But I was like top of my class when I was in elementary school and in junior high school with reading. Did pretty well with that. So I'm putting web time here on this speech bubble here. That is the birthday boy at the bottom of that photo there with the yellow t-shirt and the cap on. So now I have it all done. And I am going to take a picture with my iPhone there so that I can remember where everything was put since it's so many pieces and so many layers here. So I start gluing them down using my favorite adhesive there, my ATG. And right now I'm just putting the layers behind the speech bubbles. I'm going to be 3Ding those speech bubbles here in a little bit. So I start taking everything off and start gluing down the layers and tucking behind the photo there, making sure that everything gets glued. Yeah, there I go. I break up the colors here because I like the shapes, but I also break up the colors, and sometimes the shapes help bring out some of my layering. But as you can see, I'm layering a lot. Like I said, a lot of this stuff came out of my stash. They did not come with the Sugar Rush kit. There wasn't really a lot of embellishments in that Sugar Rush kit. I mean, I have some craft stuff in that kit, but there wasn't really a whole lot of like burst of color or any kind of colorful embellishment in that kit. So there you see me layering everything. And I am layering everything and making sure that everything is situated here. And there I go with my 3D foam squares, layering the speech bubbles. And I'm getting those all down there. And there's that circle again. I think I've been trying to use that circle with those arrows on it for quite a few layouts there. And you see me referring back to my photo there that I took there on my phone. So now I am gluing down the arrow there. And I know some of you noticed that I have little hearts over the faces of the minor children there. I did that because I had to wait to get permission before I put their photos on here. So that's me. I'm having trouble taking that little film that comes on those see-through things there, those tags. I had a little challenge there. So now I am putting the whole panel down now that it's all layered. Getting that all nice and straight there. Putting more foam dots on the rest of the bubbles there, making sure those are down properly. That creates a little interest there. Comic book pop out like, pow, I'm here. I was going to put I'm here to save the day, but that was a little too much to put on there. So I just put I'm here. My favorite superhero of all time is Superman. Superman, then comes Batman, then comes Wolverine, and then comes Spider-Man. In that order, too. I think I like the actors that actually play the superheroes more than the actual superheroes. Because I never really read any of the Wolverine or the X-Men comic books there. Never did that. So I'm cutting some of those foam squares up into strips there so they can fit on the back of there. And we're just about finished there. I'm using my thickers there, my red thickers, those are the chipboard ones. And I'm going to spell out our heroes. I was going to put them just straight horizontal, but it was kind of boring to me. So I wanted to give it a little twist. And so I play around with those chipboards for a little bit until I figure out how I want them to sit there. And while I was doing it, I was thinking, what would it look like on a comic book? So I'm looking and I'm kind of determining how it would look. And there, I'm figuring out there. I can see I'm fiddling with it. I'm fiddling with it, I think, a little too much. Because I want the banner to be seen and everything. Speaking of banner, on that banner there at the top there with the stars on it, I'll be putting a little, later on I add, when you see at the end, I add a little red banner on there. That I used a die cut for, which came from the new Technique Tuesdays die club. That's what I am a member of. It's called Fresh Cut Studio. I think it is Fresh Cuts, something like that. But anyway, I describe and I get monthly dies from Technique Tuesday, and I really, really like those dies. They are cool. I've always wanted a die thing to belong to, so right there. I'm using my a multimedia mat there from Ranger to glue down the chipboard so they don't fall off the page. I use that a lot because I don't like to use glossy accents too much on that kind of stuff because it always tends to leave a little shiny spot or a little shiny area. And so on my journaling there, I'm writing, our heroes are always protecting us. Love those guys. Actually, it was David's birthday party and everyone had to wear a superhero t-shirt. David turned 5 and he had fun. So that was back in September. As a matter of fact, David was actually born on my husband's and my anniversary. So we got an anniversary and a birth date on the same day of September there. So right now I'm adding some of those stars there from Basic Gray. And I do use up that whole entire pack, which kind of I was happy about because, I got to stop hoarding that stuff. I mean, I really like it, but at the same time, it doesn't do me any good if I don't put it down on anything. Yes, it's quite a bit. So then I'm adding some splats there, and I accidentally get some on that palette and I dab it off with a tissue there, and it comes right off there. So there you have it, my layout. Thank you and take care.